Welcome to the Moon Knight build for Elden Ring's DLC. Really great stuff. I absolutely love this build. It allows you to use element damage. You can cast spells. You can do so many different things with this build. I absolutely love the variety from it. And this is going to be an end game build where you can have a lot of fun playing with one style and continuously enjoying the game. And that's what's important for me personally, as you're watching footage of me testing one of the two main attacks. And the game just has spectacular, and I mean spectacular stuff. Before we get into the build, I did want to talk about my giveaways. I have two of them for Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. It's a game that's not out yet, but I'll be giving you guys a copy. Make sure you leave a comment so you get a chance to win, as well as AC Shadows, Assassin's Creed Shadows. And you can get a chance. Look in the description for the details. But with that out of the way, this build right here, I had a lot of fun with. I will say there's a boss. It's the second boss that you'll play within the main story. And I'm not going to really show too much of the boss, but I'll just say that they're not so easy, but they're pretty simple. There's an optional boss that's so much harder, multiple option bosses, but you can get that, and I'll have the information on that in the description as well on how to get this blade. It's twin blades to be exact. And again, this is when I first got it. I wanted to test it in this area and show it to you guys. But I do want to break down a demo of what this weapon offers, okay? First of all, you can hold it with one hand. I personally do not and will not, even though it's still pretty good one-handed. I personally love to hold it with two hands because then you have these beautiful attacks here. You're able to really do some cool stuff. Now, I want to go into the special weapon. As you can see here, you're going to pull out the sorcery, magic, and then the fire as well. You have all elements with this build. That's what makes it so special. And this is why I love it, because I can do a little bit of everything. When I hit the light, it does a melee attack that has magic, okay? And it does double attacks, okay? So anytime I press it once, it'll do two slices. The key thing with this is to be close enough to actually hit them with your physical damage and then with the magic as well. So it's like imbuing your weapon with an element. And then for the fire, when you hit your heavy weapon, after holding it, you're going to do a tornado, which is so overpowered. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I absolutely love that. This build is amazing. There's so much you can do, so much variety. And personally, definitely going to be using this for the game as we play. Now, I wanted to take a moment and start off by showing you guys exactly how this thing works. We're going to run into an enemy here purposely. I'm just going to swing on him with the light special. Two attacks right there. You see how he gets melted. Very easy, simple, great stuff, right? And now you can actually buff this up so you can do more damage with magic. I have my setup different, which I'll showcase in a minute on how to make the build. But I just wanted to give you guys a demo, and now we're going to go over there again, but this time I'm just going to put him into flames. And this is pretty basic. Again, hold your skill button, creates that stance, and it will burn. That time he didn't get caught in the fire as much, but we'll do it one more time for you guys. You can see pretty much burns them. Super strong, and you'll see. The main thing you want to do is anticipate somebody's attack, as you saw in my clip where I showcased how to do that. And I absolutely love it. We're going to go ahead and watch some of this as I go ahead and show you more or less the requirements. All right, for this Moon Knight build, you want to have 50 vigor for the DLC in general. Okay, so these stats aren't official when it comes to what you must have. There are some that you can change, and I'll explain it. But vigor at 50 is a minimum because the hardest bosses hit very hard. They can one-shot you basically. So you want to have 50 to be able to survive it. Of course, you can put on different things like as well to get stronger, but 50 is the minimum. And then for mind, specifically for this build, 25 is the minimum because you are basically casting endless spells with the weapon skill. You want to have that at 25. Personally, 35 and above feels really good. I can spam my attacks nonstop. But if you want to put a 25, you can use your flask to refill, refill, refill. Okay. Then endurance to me at 30 is good, but I have it at 35 specifically because with 35, I actually have a better attack. So I'm going to be able to spam. And this eats up stamina more than you guys know. So you want to have it at 35. As far as strength and dexterity, this is where the build really is different. All right. With strength and dexterity, there's a specific thing that you have to know is that this weapon can scale off of strength and dexterity. So I have my strength and dexterity high right now, but I do want to make the opposite version and make it so that my elements for my special attacks and my spells will be buffed. So I'll put intelligence and faith higher. Okay. And I'm going to show you guys all of that information on how it works in a second, but I wanted to give you all of the stats so you could know about the attributes going forward. You don't need anything in arcane, okay? So don't pay attention to arcane, but the four main things and the reason why to me this build is one of the most versatile is because I can go with strength or dexterity and max one of those out to do physical damage to them. But I can also go intelligence and faith and then turn this build into a caster where I'm going to cast spells the whole time as well as use this special, as you can see, burning things or hitting them with the magic double swipe. Okay. That to me is critical and you're going to have a good time with it. And now we're going to get into the gear so you can know what you need and how to go about that. Let's get into it. All right. So first and foremost, yes, the weapon. And where do you get this? You have to fight the second boss. She's a tough one, I'll just say. I'm gonna be nice and say she's tough, but she's pretty rough. But I had a good time fighting her, and as you can see, as I explained, the weapon has specific things that make it special. It scales off of dexterity and strength the most, but intelligence and faith also. So what I like to do for the current build, as you can see, I have mostly dexterity. But if you're looking to cast more spells, let's say it's intelligence based or faith based, you can put more in there and reduce strength or dexterity. That way you can cast more spells. And you can be basically a spellcaster who can still put up a fight. And so that's something to think about. And that's the variety of the build. And that's why I absolutely love this build. Personally, to me, it's one of the most fun new elements that they have in this game. And that's why I love that. Again, it's just a choice and you can have variety and just switch it up as you feel with this. If you're only going to make one build, then there you go. That's how you go about it. All right. And then we're going to get into a couple of different things. I did want to talk about one key component, and that is your spells. Okay, we're not going to go too crazy with it, but you can cast all types of spells if you felt like it. I personally like buffing myself before fights. If I know I'm going to fight a boss or somebody important, I'll pop something like flames. And then what that does, it makes my special attack hit harder. Okay, so I'm going to be able to dominate and do some wild stuff with that. Okay, personally, that's just how I go. Besides the flames, you can switch it up and put on something, get a little bit of extra. And remember, depending on the build and how you want to go about it, that's your choice. As far as gear goes, honestly, guys, it depends on the boss. You can change to have more resistance to lightning, holy magic, or fire. But I just put on her outfit because I said this is the theme, you know, the twin blade. She is the knight King, the Moon Knight, and the outfit looks great. But let's get into the Talisman. There's a bunch of them, and they're all decent, I would say. I wouldn't say they're like the best in the game. But right here, this is hers that you get. Of course, it's for theme in her. Enhance attacks. Executed after maintaining the same stance for a second. So I hold the stance, and the way I play this is as the enemy's attacking me, I'll wait for them, and when they get close, that's when I do what I have to do to take them out. And so personally, that's just the way I play. And you can do the same if you feel like it with this, because it works very well. Then, of course, successive attacks with the Rotten Winged Sword insignia. That's top tier. This is one of the best if you have the type of weapon that can do multiple attacks. I put on Shard of Alexandra specifically for the skill. I just spam the skill a lot, so having the buff is useful. And then a convenient, and honestly, you can switch this out. I have it for stamina because I don't want to worry about stamina at all. As you could tell, I have mine's at 40. But when I use this green turtle talisman, I basically don't have to think about my stamina at all. I can switch that off, put on more heavy duty attacking base, or even element damage depending on how I'm playing. All of that stuff is viable. Switch it up if you feel like it, but that's the general setup. Now we're going to get into the good stuff here that can also enhance your play and take things to that next level. Again, like I said, the spells you can choose, there's so many, like endless amounts of spells, and you can have just a lot of fun being a spellcaster as you go. Personally, I'm not that type, but we're going to get into these right here. I have magic and flame. It's not rocket science here, guys. It's the two abilities that I'm using the whole time. So I'm going to have a little more boost when I pop that, and we're good to go. And then having your attributes higher with a Godric Great Rune, this is also going to buff you up that you can do well. All right. People were asking me, should I change things? No. Stick to what you love. Play the way you love. This build right here will allow you to have the variety of whatever you are into. Okay. Personally, I love using this attack up close, and then when they're a little further back, I'll hit them with the flames, and we'll just showcase that very quickly. I'm going to attack this guy, but I want him to come towards me. I don't think it'll kill him when I do a double attack. I'm going to let him attack. Oh, wait a minute. He wants to hurt me. Wait a minute. I've never had a problem with this guy before. Look at this. He knows I'm making a video, guys. All right. There he goes. And... okay. See, I did a double attack, and now he's gone. And I spammed it twice, so it hit 4 times. But you could see that hits very, very good. Very, very strong. And now I'm going to do the flames and just basically probably finish him off. Oh, no. Wrong button. I am failing today, folks. Guess not. Guess we're not doing that. We have the footage. All right. But with all that said, you definitely are going to be perfectly fine, viable with this build. I have basically learned more and more about how to buff this up. And again, that slash is good for the physical damage of the knife and then also the magic. So it has a range to it. You can do it from far if you really need to. But personally, I love up close. So that's the general breakdown. Of course, I will be doing updates and stuff like that depending on you guys. Let me know in the comments what you want to see. We have a lot more. As a matter of fact, just made some amazing martial arts hand-to-hand build that I'm so excited for you guys to see. It should be popping up on your screen right now. And also, leave a comment if you want to win any of those prizes. See you in the base.